And we're back. Hi again.
We are.
We are.
Hi.
Okay. Tomas, if you don't have any pressing questions you want to ask?
Sorry.
Stunned
If you don't
by the
have any,
question.
that's fine.
Nothing I can think of.
Okay, that's cool.
Last time we were talking about... What were we talking about just before? Outside. Oh yeah, we're seeing our neighbors. Working in Vancouver.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about...
We were outside.
We just saw. Yeah. That was cool. So at some point, I want you to help describe your growing up. And you said you were in a cult?
Kind of.
What?
You don't know about this?
No?
Oh.
No, I don't. Of course, it's a better topic than my shit. My neighbors are great. Don't get me wrong, but this is Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
The stage is yours.
I grew up a fundamentalist Christian, right? So.
Which type?
We went to churches that were independent fundamental Baptist.
Okay.
Or we'd go to a Bible church, or we'd go to.
What's a Bible church?
Shockingly, it's a church that instead of having theology, just says that they believe in the Bible.
Oh, so just the book, but not like the God and Trinity and all that stuff behind it.
Well, they argue that comes out of the book.
So they're just Christians then?
Yeah.
Aren't all churches
Catholics are the
Bible
same.
churches?
No.
No. I was born Catholic.
Y'all have rituals.
We do.
You have like centuries of dogma and arguments among people in your religion that determine what the church
It's still based in the faith and interpretation of the Bible.
Sure, but if you look at Catholic theology, you're not going to find a literal translation of they're not going to literally interpret the Bible. They're going to have a whole, literally centuries of arguments between bishops and cardinals and popes.
Okay.
About how to interpret and understand the text.
Whereas in your case,
and rituals that aren't even in the Bible that are important because.
So in your case, it's the original stuff to the core.
It's a really bad in my churches I grew up in. What they would say is that they're just basing their religion on the Bible. In practice, of course, you have to interpret it, right? Like it doesn't just interpret itself. In practice, they have a really, really weird and strict way of picking and choosing. Like, we didn't listen to rock music because it was the devil's music.
I heard about this thing before, yeah. But wow, you were actually going... Oh, wow.
We didn't go to the cinema because that was evil.
Ah.
My mom went to the movies for the first time with me when I was a teenager to see Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Yeah.
First time.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Movies became our thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen a movie with my mom in years. Thanks to COVID, I might never again.
Nah, you will.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, she no longer believes that the cinemas...
Like, she goes to movies with us and stuff, but it's got to be a certain kind of movie. She's not as conservative as she used to be, but she's more politically right-wing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, what did it look like when you were growing up in this really religious way? Did you go to church every Sunday?
3 times a week. And then going out, knocking on doors as a 7-year-old, being like, would you like to talk about Jesus? A 4th time. I was preaching at 15.
What?
Yeah.
You were a preacher?
Just the youth service. But I was teaching children's church.
Oh. What? Sorry, how old were you?
15, 16.
15.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have a lot of teaching experience.
I wouldn't say... Yeah.
I wouldn't call that teaching, but yeah, I guess.
But still, at least in the exercise itself. Wow.
Yep.
So what happened? You started because you were believing it for a long time.
Oh yeah, I was a zealot. I read the Bible 2.5 times. The whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Most Christians never read the whole thing in their lives.
Oh,
All
for
the-
sure. Never did.
This
Never will.
guy begat that guy, begat that guy, begat that. I tried to get through that, man. I couldn't. I just couldn't.
You didn't miss much, let me tell you. I mean, there's some interesting stuff in there, but
For sure.
I wouldn't call it a skill, right?
Interpreting the Bible?
No, I mean, that's definitely a skill. I just mean, like, the process of doing it didn't give me... You didn't miss much, let me put it that way.
Okay. And that's the thing is, I've heard the highlights, you know? Like, I used to go to church. Not all the time, which I'm really happy about because I didn't like it very much. But, yeah, I had that background, which is, I think it's interesting. It definitely informs the way I think, the way I feel about, like, spirituality and stuff. But, you know, I don't really go to church anymore. I feel like God is everywhere, so I don't need to go to some building somewhere.
It's true. It's true.
10
Now
in
that
the
you think
morning
about
on
it,
Sunday.
and burn a fucking candle, and no, it's a good point. It's a really good point. If he's everywhere, why not in my house? I can just pray here, right now.
And I do pray every day, like multiple times usually. But yeah, so that definitely affects me. I feel like prayer is really important because it gets you thinking about, like, okay, I want these good things to happen, you know, in my life and in the life of people around me. I want to thank God for all of the people and places and things in my life that are awesome, and it keeps you kind of grateful, you know, to God, the universe, the energy, you know.
Prayer is an act of gratitude. So yeah, it makes you be grateful, at least for that moment.
And then it's not that you're just being grateful. You also get to think about, like, all the nice things that are, you know, maybe you don't think about every single nice thing, but, you know, you get to start thinking about, the things that I am thankful for. Like, thank God for, you know, mostly people in my prayer.
Yeah.
This was not the kind of praying we were always doing when I was growing up.
No.
There was a lot of be thankful for this,
Mm-hmm.
which, like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or a cause, like, it's a meditation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of performative, like, let me use my prayer as a way to give a speech.
I really don't like group prayer.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucked.
I don't want to pray with anybody else. Like, and then sometimes you'd have to, like, say the prayer or say the grace, and I'd just be like, oh.
It was kind of silly to me, too, because, like, if you read the text, there's, like, literally examples of people talking about how, don't pray in public. Just don't do that shit. It's like, it's performative. Like, in the first century, they knew that shit was performative. And then, you know, here's my family and their religious tradition. I don't know. It's hard to talk about a lot of it just because it's, you know, you spend 18 years of your life learning a certain religious tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, more than that, really, 22-ish. Even though I started questioning things when I was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
You like, and then you come out of it
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. But also you move a bunch, so you're not in a place where most of it's relevant.
Mm.
You know, like, yeah, I can make some point with Thomas about, like, well, Catholics have ritual and theology and history and tradition and...
No, what you do is way more hardcore. It takes way more of your time as well. What I had to do for the Catholic school was very benign. It was like Wednesday morning and Sunday, an hour and a half.
No, but my point is, like, that's one of the few times I actually get to use the language, to use the knowledge that I got for a decade and a half, you know, 2 decades almost. It's weird to be, like, 35 years old and to have half of your life spent on something that just is not relevant most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to talk to most of the people who know about Christianity. Like, full stop. Because most of the people who know about Christianity are Christians.
Yeah. It's funny. There's a lot of Christians doing very unchristian things.
Oh.
All the time.
It is so hypocritical.
How do we get this guy going again?
He's on, yeah.
No, it's going. maybe the speaker's off?
Oh, yeah. No. Is there a blue light?
No.
Excuse us,
it's the
we're
battery
gonna
went
have some
off.
technical difficulties right now.
We need to plug it. We just need to plug it to the closest USB, and the closest USB is exactly, it's this one.
Isn't that the light?
No, it's fine. It works on battery. It's fine. It was just charging.
No, unplug it from the light.
Then there. Sorry, it's high quality recording, as you can see, and we are constantly monitoring all the technical aspects of the material.
Someone will be fired
The
over
equipment
this, let us
sometimes
assure you.
needs some maintenance that we are operating right now. There you go.
And here we go.
What's the tagline?
And we're back.
No, the other one.
Here we go again. What?
Never mind.
What tagline?
You have a thing you say with the podcast.
We're doing it. That's what it says.
We're doing
We're
it.
doing it.
But now we're back
Yeah, but that
because
was...
we're part of the same. It's an episode. It's gonna be released in one playlist of like 4 parts. It's gonna be The Night with Georgie or something. I don't know.
I see.
I gotta think about something in title, right? So, yeah. Fuck. So, what happened at 18? Did you
I was
go
like
okay,
16.
fuck this, or...
Well, my mom kicked my dad out, which was great. A great
Okay.
choice for everyone involved. Dad, if you're listening, you were a piece of shit.
He's one of our subscribers.
He doesn't know how to use the YouTube.
Well,
Or if he does, I'll recommend him this podcast.
nice.
Because he was the most involved in the...
No, it wasn't that. It was just that once your mom has to work a job to support the family because your dad's a scumbag, isn't paying child support around Christmas because he wants you to hang out with him instead of your mom, that kind of shit, right? Things are a little more liberated by necessity. So she started teaching full-time.
Oh, yeah.
We got older.
What does she teach?
2nd grade at a Christian school. A really shitty Christian school. Greenville Christian School.
Why was it shitty?
Do you want the historical answer or the, my experience?
I mean, both are relevant.
Yeah?
So, in my experience, it was shitty because the teachers often didn't know what they were doing. We had a mix of old conservatives who got taught an out-of-date something or other and then just taught for the rest of their lives. And these people aren't getting professional development and whatnot, right? And we had a few young people who were either total slackers or really passionate, but not totally.
Not equipped?
Sometimes they were equipped intellectually, they'd gotten good educations, but the school was crap, right? And then historically, it was a former segregation academy. So, the place was fucked from day one, right?
What's a segregation academy?
Those are southern private schools that were started right after the federal government integrated public education. And they were suddenly all the Christians get together and they're like, God's not in the schools. We better start schools. And shockingly, they turn out to be all white. So, yeah. Part of it is that the whole thing was a political
Sort of
project
from the
conceived by
start.
right-wing shitheads, right?
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. But, of course, by the time I went there, it was, the policies had changed, but it was still, a fucked up place in all kinds of ways. Half the staff, of course, didn't believe in the theory of evolution as, a thing that explained, the way organisms became the way they are. Yeah. Pretty backwards as a place. Greenville, Mississippi, we were, the 3rd private school in town. So, the elites went to Washington School, the Catholics went to St. Joe, and the redneck, backwards, we don't believe in your weird science and shit, or whoever got kicked out of all of those schools went to Greenville Christian. I had a graduating class of 15.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
What's there, 70 kids in the school?
110, depending on the year.
Wow. That's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Is
How
this
do they
cool?
stay open? Does it cost a ton of money to go there?
my mom got a discount because she was a teacher. And she really wanted us to have Christian education.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look at
Yeah.
you now.
Yeah, I grew up to be just how they wanted.
I don't know. I wonder that sometimes. If like my parents are like, oh yeah, that's how we wanted them. Like I don't think my dad likes tattoos and piercings and stuff, but he's never said anything about it. He's very nice. Like I just imagine him every time I come with another one, like the nose piercing's relatively new. He's probably like, again
Yeah.
with this shit.
Yeah.
But that's just what I imagine. Who knows? Maybe he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know.
I think for mine, you would just laugh at me and say it's ridiculous.
Yeah. You gotta do the experiment, man.
Nah.
No?
I think of too many things and I don't think I'll tattoo any ever. No, I'm like, why not? Why the fuck?
When are you gonna get the Basque ear piercing? Like the
That
hoop
though,
earring?
that could be cool. That could be cool.
That would
I'm
be
thinking,
sick, man. You
That
gotta
would be
do
sick.
that.
oh, why not try for a bit? Why not? Yeah, this I could try.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, why not? I have some friends who did it and it looked pretty good every time.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, why not just boop boop?
Yeah? Yeah. That'd be sick, man. You gotta get the specific Basque earrings or just any kind of hoops?
I got no idea. I got no fucking idea. No, I don't know. It'd be fun to try. Yeah.
I think it would look dope, man.
The thing is,
Eric's right.
but it's just not taking them off and putting them back on. It's like wearing a watch. It's like wearing a necklace.
The only time
I find those things cool. No, I
well,
would
you
remove
do
them.
so much
Exactly.
jiu-jitsu, yeah,
I would be
all the
skateboarding.
time.
I'll be like taping them up or
Skateboarding? No.
no skateboarding probably
No.
not.
You know,
No, okay, fair. But
Like, if you falling on
But-
your ear,
but
you
martial
have
arts-
other problems.
but well, you might sometimes you might bail, you know.
I don't think you're gonna worry about.
It's the same as a watch. I find it very good looking, but at the same time, I'm like, gotta put it on and remove it. I don't know. I find this extremely painful every time. I don't know. When I was a kid, I was like,
7 seconds.
when I was a kid, I was like, fuck this, fuck it, I don't want to do it. And I would wear every watch. I was like, oh, they look very cool. 2 weeks, boom. And I was like, yeah, oh, I forgot. That's it. And I'm like, oh, well, it's been 4 days without it. Might as well just, who cares?
How about then you just put it back on whenever you want?
No, because I don't like just the motion of it. And I forget about it. Anyway.
You've learned a lot.
Useful. So useful.
No?
When I'm on site, I have my watch. Like, oh, okay, that's the
Yeah,
time.
I have my phone in my pocket. I just zip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a phone.
The decades-old debate: phone versus watch.
Yeah, no, I don't use an alarm either. Like an alarm clock that shows the time. I don't use that anymore.
Totally reliant
My phone
on
has
the
it.
phone.
You know, I can just I wake up like tick. Yeah, okay.
If the phone dies, if the battery dies, like things could happen. You might need a watch someday. You might need an alarm clock.
I mean, my phone is off at night.
Oh, so then how do you
But-
use the alarm?
Well, pretty much I don't.
You
But
just wake up?
no, I have the alarm. But my phone is off. It's on the phone.
It works with the phone off.
No, I use a trick. It's not direct. So first you can plan when the phone turns on in the morning.
Ah.
So you do that, let's say 6 a.m.
Yeah,
Then the
yeah.
phone is on, and then you have an alarm at I don't know 6:30.
6:05, yeah.
So that's what I do.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. You can tell it when to turn back. That's. I wish I. What kind of phone is this? Seriously.
Xiaomi.
Oh,
Chinese
what
brand.
The fuck, man! All your datas are us, or are ours, or whatever the mean.
We are
is.
going to be on
China
YouTube.
is
We
just
are going to be
like
on
all
YouTube
the
anyway.
news-
This data here,
So fucking, where's your phone now? We're all being tracked by the Chinese
fine,
government.
because this is
Why are
going to
you
be
worried
Nah,
about
man.
the Chinese government?
We should be worried about these.
No,
maybe
dear
not
God.
maybe not at the individual level, but up there for sure. I'd say,
Like-
but individually.
What
like,
if I
the
wandered
data they have
into?
right now? Hey guys, the data they have right now, it's going to be on YouTube. Everything,
Yeah.
they're listening to us. Well, fuck it, yeah. Well, YouTube is listening to us.
But we're choosing to put it
So,
on YouTube.
This
Might
is
as well-
definitely
you can hang
not
out with me,
going to
guys.
the final copy.
You can hang out with me, guys, as long as you're willing to put this thing public. It's fine. Anyway, my phone has that feature, so yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I won't buy one, but I wish I could.
But I
get a phone
acknowledge,
that-
I acknowledge it's a cool
I
feature.
do acknowledge it's a cool feature.
I'm actually very surprised that phones like Apple, Samsung, whatever, don't have that functionality. It seems trivial to me.
I used to have a phone that did that.
Okay,
at one
okay,
point
it
in
must be
time.
possible.
Yeah. But I never used that feature. But I saw that it was available. But yeah, I wish that I could have that feature. You just turn your phone off. Boom.
Yeah. So
Like I feel like I don't read as many books as I should because my phone has other stuff on it. Like I have a bunch of books on my phone
yeah.
and a reader app, which is so convenient. Like I love it. And once I get into books, I love that it's on my phone. Like I can just swipe. Whereas when you have a book, you also need a fucking light.
Yeah.
Whereas your phone is the light. But I still read.
But you could use like
more
a Kindle,
books than probably most people.
something a bit bigger that kind of like the size of a book, like a Kindle or something.
Yeah.
If the screen is too small.
But the Kindle doesn't have the internet the way my phone has the internet, so where I can go like get an EPUB of something.
Yeah.
Completely legally, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
But no, I understand. Yeah.
You know, and you download it, it's there. It's right there.
I mean, love my manga on the phone.
Yeah. It's
I pay. By
I
the
would,
way,
I would get an
I started
iPad
paying
just to
legally for
watch
the manga. The manga I read right now, I'm actually paying for, and it's been a recent purchase. Okay, it was illegal until now. Okay, I admit, but now I'm actually I'm straight edge right now, guys. I finally purchased the membership and everything. No, yeah, it's nice.
Straight edge now just means paying somebody.
Yeah, just be straight with the law.
The term has really fallen in our lifetime. It used to be a lifestyle. Back in the day, straight edge meant something.
And didn't they like paint X's on their hands? Or like
SXE. Yeah, straight edge.
Oh, actually, that's the thing.
SXE?
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
movement.
little S, big X. Yeah, straight
So
edge.
What does that
No,
mean?
I just saw
okay,
X's.
so
There were those two.
so
but-
what did that mean for them? Straight
Like,
edge.
I don't drugs, I don't do alcohol.
Yeah, that's what I mean by straight edge. But
yeah, and they generally listen to hardcore music.
I extend the kind of straight edge to me means absent of all those things.
Mm-hmm.
The same way in my case, straight edge was.
You mean
would
square
absent
rule follower?
of- Anyway, my English is good, guys. Okay,
Your English is fine.
but I fucked up on that one. Yeah. Forgot what I was saying, but yeah.
You were extolling the virtues of paying for manga.
Yeah, but it's very nice to use the phone. Yeah, as opposed to
As
Yeah.
Eric is doing right now. I didn't call you out, I whispered you out. Also, something tells me this whole section is just getting cut.
What?
we don't cut.
Why?
Yeah, you're going to listen to it later and change your mind.
Oh, I'm not listening. I hate my voice. I don't listen to any of the things I record. I hate my voice.
Oh,
I hate my voice
God.
too much. I'm like, every time I listen, I cringe. I'm like, fuck this. Okay, this one was good. Okay, we don't need to watch it. And I put it on YouTube. Don't care. So it's gonna be out there. I'm not editing this at all.
Yeah, okay. Well, then...
We are just either not posting it or posting it.
Yeah, that's what I
that's-
mean when I say
Well,
edit
we
it
can talk about
out.
it. We can talk about this later, of course.
There's a whole side bit about how we need to be afraid of China. I'm not gonna fucking put that on the internet. Come on, guys.
What? Who cares? Like, what do you think is gonna happen to us? We
Stop
are
the point. Someone might listen to you.
exactly. And what do you think is gonna happen to us? We are insignificant to them. We are maggots. What do you think?
That part should definitely go on. We are maggots
Like,
is great. That's like the
the fa-
the second.
I mean, come on,
the
guys.
title section.
The fact that my phone is being recording everything that's going on is like is it new to everyone?
I'm not worried
no.
about it.
So you see what I mean?
I don't like it.
Oh no, exactly.
Like it
That's
at
why
all.
we need to talk
But
about
it's not
it.
just your phone. There's,
No,
millions
it's
of
not.
people's
It's not
phones.
pleasant. The default when you buy any provider of the internet or anything, the default is your data is yours, and you can get a discount if you allow us to use your data. That should be the deal. Instead of you're buying, but your stuff is pretty much leaking away from all pores of the phone. You know.
That's a good way to put it.
Let me be poetic about it, okay?
No, it's good. You're
So-
poetic about it.
So, yeah, it's very annoying.
Economics.
So, how's the poly life?
Topic 3 for our evening. I'm definitely not talking about this. We'll get my ass in trouble. No, it's good. It's not to say it's easy, but like I don't think human relationships are easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think satisfying stuff is difficult sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's intentional ways to build relationships, and I think there's learned ways, and those two are not. That's not a binary, right? You can be intentional with the way you build relations with others, and also you've got habits that you've been taught. And for people, like if you're in a society that's got a default monogamous structure to their romantic relationships, then it's just easier for people to go with that and figure out how they're supposed to go with that. I think there's more to life than claiming other people, to put it simply. And I think that
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I think it's easier to have a more satisfying, not easier necessarily. I think it's the thing that works for me, like just to be like individualistic about it. But I also think the point is not to limit other people. So like if one of my partners met somebody who they wanted to be like forever with, and that's what they figured out, I wouldn't want to be in the way. Right?
Yeah.
Which like write it up to all kinds of things, but I don't find the like I'm just thinking about how to put it exactly. I don't really find the romance of monogamy convincing. That's one way to put it. Which it is a romance. It's like find your lover and find happiness. The good life awaits you.
So, would you say you don't believe in romance, or just the idea of finding the one is not romantically appealing?
Polyamory is the argument that those two are not the same thing. Right? The idea that rejecting the couple is not rejecting romance. It's the idea that you can have love with multiple people. But if you look at the history of the term romantic love, we're back to my research again. Oh no!
You're a PhD student. It's okay. It's all about the research.
The couple is the defining characteristic of it, right? There's lots of different versions of romance. They have lots of different things that are different about them, but the one thing they all have in common is they all have couples. That means that if you're rejecting romance, to some extent, you're rejecting the couple. That doesn't mean you need to reject love.
Yeah.
Right? And also rejection is such a simple way to think about it. You can't reject a social norm you've been taught. Like you can try to do something else, but simple rejection doesn't work. And psychologically speaking, like your relationship to others is always going to be framed by those norms that you've been taught, even if you disagree with them now, or even if you don't want to reenact a certain kind of relationship, you're still going to have to relate to it, right? And so a lot of, I guess, polyamory is my way of trying to, also, what an ugly word, putting Greek and Latin roots together. Sorry, that's an old joke. Not my original joke.
That's some highbrow shit. Putting the two roots of the. All right, I wasn't aware.
We're all over the map tonight, folks. But no, it's to me, it's like I want people to be able to explore like their own desires and their own like lives without putting limits on it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, have you ever tried being queer or bisexual and monogamous? Like it, you know what I mean? Like there's a contradiction in terms there, right? It's like I have this multiple sexuality, but I'm gonna pick one person to be with for the rest of my life. That's not to say it's not like I don't respect people or whatever who are monogamous. It's just like because you can obviously like negotiate your relations in a way that sexuality isn't the most important thing, right? But I never wanted to be somebody who stopped somebody I cared about from experiencing what they wanted to experience. And sexuality's been so moralized in the Christian tradition and secular versions of that in the West that it's just like something I never wanted to be like regulated that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people want freedom. It's the best. Being free. Don't try to possess people. They're not your possession.
Otherwise, we'll exorcise the demon.
So have you ever tried monogamous relationships?
Oh yeah, I mean that was the norm when I was growing up, right?
Yeah.
So
And did you
the
feel
first
limited?
3 relationships I was in were like
Did you
that.
feel limited by that in any way, or did it?
I
it
wasn't
just
that
like,
I felt
it's
limited.
The,
I was
it's the
like,
norm.
yeah, well, I was convinced it was the right thing to do, and there was something wrong with me for not wanting to relate in this way, and so I would do shitty things like, you know, you're young, like 20-something, and you're like cheating on a person because, like, you are sexually attracted to more than one person.
I mean, who would have thought?
And yeah, right. And also, you like are so deeply repressed that you can't like admit that fact, right? Or act on it, like, and so you end up wronging another person, and then
Yeah, that's why I wanted to always avoid. It's like, yeah, I think cheating is bad. So
lying to people you care about tends to be harmful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you're gonna be attracted to other people, then just figure out a way that these things can coexist. It's really unfortunate, the limitations that society puts on people. Like, I think a lot of people would be a lot more happy in open relationships if they could just get over the idea of like, this person is mine. They're like.
Yeah, but I mean, open relationships like still come with the same kinds of hierarchies that monogamous relationships do, right? It's like,
What do you mean?
well, I mean, there's a whole terminology for this, so like I'm not meaning to be all like, oh, let's have a series of distinctions, but open relationships and polyamory aren't exactly the same. Right?
Okay.
Like polyamory is, for most people who claim the identity, it's gonna mean that you believe that you can love and do love many people or multiple people, and so you have romantic relationships that are built on that, and often sexual relationships, right? An open relationship is a relationship with someone that isn't closed to other sexual partners, but often maintains primacy or importance or the first position.
You go to main.
Okay.
Primary, main.
Yeah, you go to main
and all kinds of
You go to
terminology.
main.
Well, they're like literally the terminology that's often used here is like having a primary partner,
Primary partner, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
like, hi, I'm the secondary. You know what I mean? Like this is a little like, I'm not sure this is actually the kind of liberation you're going for, everybody. Like for some people, what ends up happening is you just take it's like the French tradition of having a mistress. And like everyone knows that it's happening, right? It's not like, oh, you're cheating. It's like, this is just how it is, right? Of course, that's
Is that a French reputation?
it's
To be fucking cheaters?
no, not cheaters.
Okay.
To have like a different social relationship, which involves like a French marriage, like, and this is again a sort of cultural stereotype coming from North America.
That's
I
why
don't actually like.
Yeah.
I don't know how broadly shared this opinion is, but the idea is like, yeah, there's like a bunch of French marriages that involve the mistress, and like everybody knows, and like, you know, it's a patriarchal tradition, right? So there's outlets for like weird things, or like how to say undesired outcomes. You don't want to get left, so instead you just like accept that somebody is going to have another partner. Now this is like, if you look at that in a gender hierarchy, where it's like, I'm accepting a condition, like the wife is accepting a condition that she doesn't want but has to. Or you can look at it another way, like, yeah, sleeping with him isn't that great anyway, but we got to stay married.
Yeah.
Right? It's a little grim. Polyamory doesn't generally go for this. The idea is, like, instead you follow your connections to multiple people.
Wasn't that a thing in Japanese marriages, I think, where it's commonly known that the husband is cheating on the wife? Like the wife knows
This
it as
might
well,
be a
and-
stereotype
fucking
that everybody
culture
has.
everywhere
Everybody else.
always has people cheating on each other all the time because nobody. Well, not
In the
nobody, but
19th
people aren't
century-
meant for fucking monogamy. I don't
So
think
those guys are
people
doing an
meant
open
for it.
relationship without saying it, pretty much.
There's a big difference between an open relationship and cheating.
But when they
one of
know
them
it,
is honest.
but when they know it and then they don't say anything about it. That's what I mean.
Friedrich Engels, Marx's writing partner, did research on the origin of the family, and in the 19th century he said monogamy is only on paper.
Yeah.
Like Western marriages are only monogamous on paper.
Yeah, because people want to fuck each other. That's just.
You heard it here first.
That's so basic. That's how we all got here. Like,
I don't know about you, but I was conceived in a lab
oh, that makes sense.
between two Bibles and an angel. Let's take a short break.
I like that idea.
Yes, with that.
I need more chips.
See you soon.